A quick introduction about the companies that are sponsoring this management through movies. Quest Equal is an organization which is a learning partner to corporates. What we do is we shape human capital. We provide training programs to the different uh, people, employees, and organizations. The second logo, as you can see, is STTP, that is the Society of Design Thinking Professionals. And at Society of Design Thinking Professionals, we evangelize design thinking and hope to spread the learnings of design thinking into practical applications throughout. We have it under the umbrella of STTP. We have over 250 professionals that have been certified by us who are carrying out the work under the ban. The other logo that you can see is Strengths Coaching Society. Here we use the research of Dr. Don Clifton and use the Clifton Strengths Finder to build teams by teaching what is good and making it better. So everybody finds out what are their strengths. They build on the top strengths. They build on what they're good at to try and becoming great at it. The last but not the least, we have Designer Waiter. It's as you can see, it is an accelerator program where we teach entrepreneurs to bring their product into an MVP stage. So we help them design, we help them innovate, we help them accelerate and bring their products to life. So that they have the confidence to actually take their products out into the markets. And that's a little about us. Once again, thank you so much for joining. Over to you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Zoya. Thanks for setting the context. And well, let's start. The today's agenda is, we will talk about the storyline of the movie. We'll talk about the learnings, what we can draw from the movie, and then we'll have some Q&A. I want to keep it about 35 odd minute session. And as Zoya said, this recording will be made available on our YouTube channel. One disclaimer that we learn from these movies. We look at these movies from the lens of what can we learn and can apply in our daily lives. We do not take any responsibility of the content, or we do not recommend it, or we do any recommendation for any of the movies, whether you should watch or not, whether there's an adult content or not. So that's something which is the viewer's discretion. Now, today's movie is Flight. Right now, it's an interesting movie, and what this movie is all about. This movie is about a captain who actually crash lands a plane. Unfortunately, he's an alcoholic, and even though there was a mechanical failure and he was termed as the hero in America, however, when the investigation started, it soon led the investigators to question about his drinking habits. And this film is loosely inspired by the plane crash of Alaska Airlines Flight 261. And of course, this the crew, the director, as well as the actor, they're all highly decorated. And this also got the 2 nominations for the Best Actor for Denzel Washington and the Best Original Screenplay at the 85th Academy Awards. Now, if I talk about the lessons from the movie, yes, there are quite a lot of them. And if you look at what is there with respect to what is happening around us, right? So we can also relate that. And as I said earlier in the last session, I mentioned that instead of picking a concept, from the world of body of knowledge we have and then correlating it to what the movie is, what we do is we tend to pick up dialogues from the movie, the key takeaways, and then we relate those dialogues, right? Now, the first one is, even though you may say that, Jimmy, I'm starting on a negative note, but I think that's something which is happening all around us right now, especially in this pandemic. Now, there's this scene in the movie that after the crash, the pilot is actually in the hospital, and he wants to have a smoke. So he walks up to the stairway. He meets a lady over there who is undergoing a rehab, and then there comes one gentleman who is, who's got infected with cancer. He's got cancer. Now, he said that, what, that gives you perspective. He's aware that in no time he's going to die. And his perspective of life is totally undergone a change. Well, God forbid it happens to us. But if you think that, imagine if all of us, are going to die at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, what are the kind of things we would like to, accomplish? I'm sure there's a laundry list ready, because we have this tendency, to postpone things. So remember, life is now, right? Life is now. The breath, what we are taking, life is now, right? So the first thing, death really, really gives you perspective. And he also said that every morning is special, and I'm grateful for that. I mean, ask yourself, um, we all want great things in life. We all want a lot of things in life, yes, which is right. We must get all that. However, always remember, each one of us is living someone else's dream, which means, are we grateful for what we have, what we already have? And I think the habit of gratitude, and as I say, the attitude of gratitude is the best attitude. And typically, if you start off your morning, I mean, it's my personal experience. When you start off a morning by expressing your gratitude, you know what you're doing? Unknowingly, you're creating space for more to come in your life. Let me repeat this. When you begin your day with a gratitude, what is happening is you are creating space for more to come in your life. So do appreciate what we have as we speak, right? And third is how beautiful every breath of life is. Now, this is exactly, that gentleman who was suffering from cancer said that, you know what, I relish each and every breath. And here the question is, I mean, are we mindful of what is happening around us? Are we mindful of our breathing? Are we aware of the consequences? Let's say, I mean, what's the difference between a live person and a dead person? I mean, it's just the energy, right, which we get through that breathing, right? So can we understand and appreciate that as well, right? Can we be a little more mindful of what we are doing? For example, how many of us actually have our food when we are watching a television, or maybe when we are looking at our mobile? We are not even aware sometimes what we are eating. We are not even aware what we are drinking, right? Sometimes we're not even aware of the kind of, let's say, the beautiful design on the coffee mug, through which we are having our drink, right? A coffee or a tea or whatever. So can we be a little more mindful of what is happening around us, right? Now, this is something interesting. There's a scene in the movie when Denzel Washington, along with his girlfriend, takes her to his farm. And since he's an alcoholic, he actually passes out in the evening. And as he gets up, he sees that his girlfriend is actually outside in the porch, and she's a photographer. And she said that, I have been watching the sky right from the sunrise, and it's beautiful. Ask yourself, when was the last time you actually watched the sky before the sunrise? And how would it look like if you are able to usher in the day as you're looking at the sunrise, right? If you have not done it, try doing it tomorrow, and maybe day after, and maybe a day after that, maybe every day. I mean, if you ask me, I'm a morning person, and I may not watch sunrise every day. However, majority of the days when I'm able to watch, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. You feel so fresh. You feel so eager to kickstart your day, right? So maybe on a trial basis, tomorrow morning when you get up, whichever part of the world you may be in, right? See if you can watch the sunrise, yeah, and appreciate the beauty of the morning. Yeah. Now, this girlfriend of Denzel Washington is also an alcoholic. However, she accepts that she's an alcoholic, and she goes for an AA, the Alcoholic Anonymous meeting. And over there, as he was talking to Denzel Washington, that, you know what, I need to go there. Can we postpone our meeting plan? She said, this has been arranged by my sponsor, who's really helping me. I can't say no to her. Ask yourself, who's your sponsor? And when I say your sponsor, about things what you do, who do you look up to? Who is that somebody who really reaches out to you? Who's that somebody who supports you? In a way, he or she is your sponsor, right? Now, if there is somebody who's a sponsor, what are you doing to give the return on the investments on the efforts of your sponsor? Could be a friend, could be a family, could be a parents, could be anybody, right? So maybe ask yourself, in these difficult times, probably do some reflection. Who is your sponsor? Who's your guide? Who's your mentor? Who's your coach? How are they helping you? And what are you doing to repay, in terms of shift in your behavior. Yeah. And then this is a very interesting one. Sixth is, I always love a meeting where we have to identify, to be honest about who I really am. Now, this is interesting. There is this clip in the movie wherein there is one gentleman in that AA meeting, and he starts off by introducing himself and says that, you know what, I am an alcoholic, right? And then this is what he said, that this is the place where I actually confess that yes, I am an alcoholic, right? I'm being honest about who I am, right? And there's another scene in the movie wherein the protagonist, the Denzel Washington, is mentioning that I have been weaving one lie over the other about my alcohol drinking habit, right? And this sentence in or this sequence in the movie is in so contrast with what the other sequence is, right? So ask yourself, I mean, what are the times, or what are those situations, or what are those activities which really help you to identify to who you really are? And can you find ways and means of doing more of that? Can you find ways and means of doing more of that activity that'll give you a kick? Yeah. And then in the interesting scenario, this is a dialogue said by the co-pilot, who unfortunately would not be able to walk after the accident. However, when Denzel Washington walked up to his hospital bed to meet his co-pilot, he said, yes, for all the bad things, out of 102 people who were on board, 6 of them lost lives, 2 of them were crew members. Now, he said, yes, bad things have happened. However, it is still a celebration of life. I mean, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm happy to be alive. And his wife added that we are blessed that he's alive. Right. So for all the bad things which are happening, it is also celebration of life. I mean, it's always about looking at both sides of the coin. I mean, while I understand and appreciate, all of us, especially in the second wave, must have had a sense of some or the other personal loss. But on the other hand, there are so many people who are also getting, who are coming out of the COVID, right? So that's the way to look at it. I mean, while the bad things are happening, but they're also celebration of life happening. Yeah. And then this is interesting. After the trial, the pilot Denzel Washington is, he confessed over there. I mean, the pilots union, they hired a lawyer, and everything was made up in such a fashion that he will actually go scot-free, and he will not undergo a sentence. He will not be jailed, and his pilot license will not be taken. However, at that meeting, he confessed that yes, he is an alcoholic, and he was under the influence of alcohol when he was driving, or when he was driving that plane. And he was sharing this entire story with his jail inmates. And at that point of time, he said that I would have said anything and I would have gone scot-free, but I would have ran every time for my own self. But the moment I confessed who I am, I became free. Ask yourself, is there anything which you are running away from? Now this may be a little, a very, I would say, a very blunt question, but ask yourself, is there anything you're running away from? Is there anything which you have to confess? Is there anything which you have to share? Is there anything which you have to appreciate in someone? Is there something which you're holding on for a long time? Would you want to go scot-free? Would you want to unload and offload that baggage? Think of it like this: when we carry the baggage, it's like we are walking into our life carrying a chair with us. For example, imagine that you are carrying a chair everywhere you're going. How difficult it would be, right? Let it go and be free. Ninth is pretty interesting. Now, the pilot Denzel Washington is divorced and has got a 15-year-old son. He goes to visits them. However, there's a fight and he leaves them because he was again under the influence of alcohol. Now, in the jail, he gets a visitor, and the visitor is none other than his son. And his son says that, you know what, I need to interview you. And the father said, who's Denzel Washington, the captain, the pilot, he said, what is the topic on which you have to write an essay for your school assignment? He said, I have to write an essay about the most fascinating person I've ever met. Now, interestingly, and he was very happy. Now ask yourself, who is the most fascinating person you have ever met? Have you told him or her that, yes, I really admire this in you, that, yes, I really like this in about you, that, yes, I really appreciate the help what you gave me the other day, or maybe what you did really inspired me, right? I mean, I think, as I said earlier, life is now, time is now. Maybe send a small message, maybe send a small email, maybe send a small text that, yes, you're the most fascinating person I have ever met. Thank you so much for who you are. And the movie ends with this dialogue, which is I'm going to show you right now, which is the last learning. This is number 10, which says, who are you? Now, as the son said that, you know what, I need to start interviewing you. And then he puts on his dictaphone and says, the first question is, who are you? And believe me, question is very simple. However, maybe a lot of us struggle to answer this question. Who are you? Do ask yourself, who are you? Not about what are you. Please understand this. Most of us confuse between who are you to what are you. For example, what I am is my name, my designation, my organization, right? That's who I. It's not who I am. It's what I am. Who are you is who. What gives me that satisfaction in my soul. Who are you is what is my compass of life. How do I live my life? मेरा जिंदगी जीने के मायने. That's who I am, right? And if you have not defined it, ask yourself, who are you? Why are you doing what you're doing? And the moment you will do that, you will realize maybe you are looking at life with a new pair of eyes. So to quickly summarize 10 learnings, they're right in front of you. That gives you perspective. Every morning is special, and I'm grateful for that. How beautiful every breath of life is. I have been watching the sky right from the sunrise, and it's beautiful. And by the way, not only sunrise, the sunset is also beautiful. Yeah. She's my sponsor who is helping me. So figure out who your sponsor is. I always love a meeting where we have to identify, to be honest about who you really are. And for all the bad things, it's a celebration of life as well. Number 8 is I'm free. Number 9 is I have to write an essay about the most fascinating person I've ever met. And number 10 is who are you? Well, what we'll do now is we'll open the floor for any 5 minutes, for about 5 to 7 minutes, if you have any questions. Anybody wants to ask or share anything? Maybe you can write in the chat window as well. I just got a message from Rajesh that there is little technical challenge at his end, so he has to drop. No worries. Yeah, sorry. Somebody was saying something.
Yeah, in 10th point, who are you?
Yeah.
The who determines the personal characteristics of a person.
Yes.
And what determines the professional characteristics of behavior of a person? Huh?
You can say that. You can say that. What we do, right? Let's look at it, guys. Who are you? For example, let's say, what's your name, sir?
Vishal.
Vishal. Let's say, for example, Vishal, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now let's think of a situation think of the day when you probably met your wife, when you were not married, right? At that point of time, it's not about you were telling her that if you look at who are you, you will not say what is your name, what is your education qualification. You will not say where are you working, what are your traits. It's about you telling that, what kind of life do you wish to live, right?
Okay.
What do you believe in, what your beliefs are, right? So if you draw that simple parallel, you will get this answer. And to put it very simply, let us say your functional objective or organizational expective or your professional responsibilities defines what are you. How you achieve them, that is who you are.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, your values, your beliefs define you. Who are you?
Right. Got
So
it.
that's one way to create a differentiation between the two. Yes. Vaishnavi, anything you wish to ask? Okay, so one more check, and otherwise we are good to close the session. So, any questions from your side?
No, Jimmy.
Okay, great. So, thank you so very much. Do stay in touch with us. You can follow our YouTube channel by the name Jimmy Jain, and all these recordings will also be hosted there. Thank you so very much for your time. I really appreciate your choice to join us. And we'll be back next fortnight with a new movie. Thank you. Namaste. Stay safe.